It has been over 500 years since the Kingdom of Kush fell. The followers of the gods of Kush, persecuted by their Christian oppressors, have steadily retreated further and further westward into the lands of Darfur. Only one house still loyal to the old gods remains within the Kushite heartland, and that is the House of Akhratani, founded over 1,000 years ago during the height of Kushite power. But now, Kush is a ruin, and the followers of the Christ God have founded a kingdom upon its bones, the Kingdom of Alwa. But the lineage of Akhratani remains, maintaining a tenuous sovereignty over the temple of great Apedemak within the storied city of Daqa. The lineage resists the oppression of Alwa's Christian kings, but has ever waned beneath the yoke of their tyranny. Now things shall change. House Akhratani has a new heir, Ezana, a priest and ruler of great convictions. When his father Aspalta was murdered by a mob of Christian zealots, Ezana swore an oath upon the sun crown of Ahmun and the fangs of Apedemak that the injustice would end, that Alwa would fall and that Kush would be restored. He swore to the old gods that they would return to their thrones by his hand or by the hands of his heirs. Welcome everybody, I am the Ash Heriter, and this is Crusader Kings 3. Here we are in East Africa, in the Nubian or Kushite heartland, with the next Promise campaign. We are playing as Exarchos Ezana of the Akhratani, and we rule the small Exarchate of Daqa. Alas, our rule is not our own, for now. Basilios Dawid II sits upon the throne of the Kingdom of Alwa, and without any doubt plots our demise, just as he was undoubtedly the will behind our late father's death. We will deal with him in kind, but first we must secure our own lands. Daqa is a shadow of its former glory, and worst of all, the Temple of Apedemak, our lion-headed conquering god, lies in ruins. We must restore the temple. It will be a long process, for we have few resources and our enemies are many, but we will persevere. The rays of Amun's sun crown shall illuminate, and the roar of Apedemak shall strike terror into the hearts of our enemies. And by Isis, Osiris, Nephthys, Arensnufis, Sebiu-Meker, and all the other gods, we shall rise again, and we shall restore Kush to its ordained glory. Alright everybody, are you ready for this? I'm ready for this. It's been quite a while since I've played any Crusader Kings, thanks to the current predicament I find myself in, but I can make the tentative promise, though not really a promise, that I will attempt to get 2 episodes out of this per week, at the very least. So, if you're interested in this campaign, a thematic roleplay campaign here in East Africa, under our glorious Kushitic pagan religion, please consider subscribing to this channel if you're new here, and smashing that like button. The gods will be pleased. Now, let's get on with this. So, our ruler here, just to go quickly over what our stats are, he is brave, he is just, he is vengeful, and he is patient. His education, he is a skilled tactician, he is a blade master, a mystic, a holy warrior, he is also intelligent, and he unfortunately lost an eye. This was lost during the mob that killed his father, so it's an old wound by which to remember the injustices that have been met out upon him and his people, something that he surely won't forget. So, as for his stat line, which is, of course, being contributed to by all of these traits here, his diplomacy score, used for interacting with the other nobles across the realm, is not very good. That's not going to be his strong suit. He is not going to be one that is going to be making too many friends the conventional way. However, his martial skill, sitting at 17, is quite excellent. He's, of course, a brave fighter with a strong sense of justice, who is, of course, a priest of Apedemak. And if you don't know who Apedemak is, it is an East African deity that was syncretized into the Kushitic religion at some point, not exactly sure when. It's a lion-headed god of war. And that should tell you about all you need to know. It's, yeah, Apedemak, very scary. And we are, of course, his priests. Our temple, well, we have a temple right here. as I showed before, the ruins of the Temple of Apedemak. But the true temple, you might say, is on the battlefield. And our ruler, Ezana here, is more than capable of conducting that sort of worship. To supplement his 17 martial skill, his prowess, which is used in individual combat rather than in large-scale tactical combat, is 12, which is actually not all that good. His one eye hasn't really done him any favors. His stewardship skills are average. He is, of course, also a priest of Ahmun. And that, in turn, has given him some schooling in that sense, but his stewardship, which is ultimately the skill that you use to maintain your realm and to make money, could be better. His intrigue skill, of course, as a priest, and particularly as a priest of a very overt and blatant god, it's going to not be very good. So this man, Ezana here, is not going to be a schemer. His learning score, on the other hand, is quite good. He is, of course, pious. He's a holy warrior as well. And being a priest, he has quite good learning, which is going to contribute to our gain of piety, which, of course, is a resource that we can use to perform various religious actions. Now, at the start of a campaign, there's always a couple of things you need to worry about. So if you're new to Crusader Kings and haven't played much, I'm going to give something of an explanation for some of the mechanics. I'm not really a channel that does guides or anything, so don't expect anything to that level. I would recommend Italian Spartacus as a channel to check out for proper Crusader Kings guides. He does them very well. But one of the first things we need to do is, of course, find ourselves a spouse. If we have a spouse, we can get married. Now, we will be married. And then we can have children, which will continue our legacy. So we're going to need to find a fellow, preferably a Kushitic, though at this point, I'll take anybody that's not a Christian. And I would like her to have good stewardship. That will supplement our stewardship, which will in turn allow us to make more money. Because money is going to be what allows us to survive what's coming. Now, normally if you're going to game the system, you're going to want to look for spouses that have traits, because these traits, congenital traits, are passed down through generations. We have one ourselves, intelligent. And if you're going to try and game the system, you're going to want to collect all three of them and do whatever you can to make sure that they're passed down through your generations, because basically that's free stat points, and it's really good. However, I'm not going to try and game the system. I'm going to look for who has the best traits, who has the best stats for what we need. So we need stewardship. And as it goes here, this woman, Ajan here, would be a good option, though she is 40 years old, which means she won't be fertile for very long, so the chance of having enough children, well, technically all you need is one, but that's a risky play, is low. So I'm going to look for somebody a bit younger, which might have a bit less stats. There were some traits here, so actually, the Damo here, she's a Wakist, so that's from the Horn of Africa. They, too, are oppressed by the Christians and by the Muslims, so they will be allies in this war to come. Technically, the Muslims will probably be allies too, since they're no friends of the Christians, but I don't know how long that alliance will last. No, for now here we have Ok. Ok does not have any traits, but her stewardship and her intrigue is quite good. Her diplomacy is not, but I don't think we have very many options. Edza would be good, except, actually, she's a giant. You know what? She's a giant, she's just, and she's ambitious, and she's Kushitic. She's a cynic, but that's fine. The Kushitic people have every reason to be cynical as it is now. Where are you from, Edza? You come from... you're wandering. You're landless. This will not be a marriage worthy of alliances, unfortunately. Maybe we should actually check that. See if there are any alliances that we could gain from marriages. Unfortunately, the only ones that it looks like we would be able to get... Oh, there's... No, that's it. Is with people that are very young, which is a bit wrong, so we're not going to do that. I mean, technically, this sort of stuff happened all throughout history. We could do it, but I'd prefer not to. So, stewardship it is. Where were you? Edza here. She has a very good stat line overall. And the giant trait, while it does provide a minor health penalty, if our children are born with this trait, they'll get extra prowess. It's altogether not too bad. And if this trait doesn't pass through, it's not a big deal either. I don't need to have this trait. So why don't we see about marrying her? We will lose a bit of prestige from this. We will lose 100 prestige because we are functionally marrying a lowborn. But we don't have very many other options at this point. So we will do that. Now, our next course of action, the next thing you want to do is choose your lifestyle. So your education, which we had the martial education, is going to determine what lifestyle you should pick. You don't have to pick one in association with your education, but here you can see, because of your martial education, you gain 30% more experience in this lifestyle, which means it's quite a good choice to go for, which is exactly what we're going to do. And you now get to choose one of 3 focuses, which give different benefits. So strategy focus grants +3 martial. Authority focus grants +1 martial and +20% dread. Dread is a stat used to intimidate other people. It's not bad to have, and we have a natural dread bonus because of our missing eye. Or we can go chivalry, which will grant +3 prowess and +10 attraction, and +5 battle advantage. We're going to take chivalry. And then you have 3 potential trees that you can go down. You can freely mix and match, but you do need to fulfill all of the arrow requirements to get to where you want to get to. And you do kind of want to look at the higher tier ones because they're usually much better than the lower tier ones. Generally how I find it is the first couple of talents are good, and then there's some that are circumstantially good if you play a very specific build but are otherwise pretty mediocre. And then at the end, you get some really nice stuff, including at the very end of the tree you get a perk, which is basically a new trait that is unlocked. And we're going to go down Gallant. And we're going down Gallant because of Chivalric Dominance, which is going to increase the effectiveness of our Knights. And Knights are incredibly good in Crusader Kings. So, off we go. We're also going to get Never Back Down, which is going to decrease our friendly casualties that we suffer in battle, which is going to be crucial early on because we're not going to have very many soldiers, and give us a further +5 battle advantage. And then we're going to get Household Guard, which is going to give us the ability to recruit 4 additional Knights from what we normally have. So let's immediately look at that. We have currently 0 champions. I think once we unpause the game, they will become champions. Right now, our court is not a big fan of us. A lot of people don't like us, which is kind of a problem, but we're going to have to sort that out one way or another. And why they don't like us is because they're all Coptics. So the Coptic sect is a Christian sect. We are currently inhabiting their lands, though technically they're inhabiting our lands, and we're just a holdout of what was here originally. Them being the oppressive Christians that they are, don't like us because we are different from them. Right now, our council is not a big fan of us, and this is very dangerous. Incredibly dangerous. We are going to need to fix that. I am going to move my Proto-Domesticos. We are using Greek titles, of course, because the Christians of this land adopted Greek titles a long time ago. So we are currently going with that. In one of the mods that I'm using, and I will link my mod list below, there is a decision that when you play as an African ruler that you can actually go back to the ancient African, not necessarily ancient, but just using the local titles, which at least I believe that that's in the mod. I'm pretty sure that is. I've seen it before, and I'm hoping that we're going to be able to do that. So we're going to switch out our Spy Master for him. Yeah, we can swap them here. He has terrible diplomacy, so we're going to find somebody with better diplomacy. Kael here. It's going to be you. You are my proto... you are... Okay. We're going to make you our diplomat. And they're not particularly good at it. We need to focus him on domestic affairs. So basically, all of your counselors, you can have focus on a specific task. These counselors will, I believe, no, they do not grant you stat bonuses, but your spouse will. But for now, your counselors can focus on specific tasks, which the Proto-Domesticos, which is the counselor, can basically boost direct vassal opinion through domestic affairs, or can grant us prestige by going into foreign affairs and will occasionally boost fellow vassal opinions within the kingdom. I'm going to go with domestic affairs because I need to get my court in order. Our proto-mesoteros, Kael here, he is our steward. He can increase our development, which development is a numerical score here, which determines how settled and advanced your county is. Higher development is better. It just means you get more money out of it. But what we need right now is money. So he's going to collect taxes, and basically this just means that the money that we get from our settlement, which right now is abysmal, is going to be slightly more. And it'll occasionally trigger an event that means we get a solid chunk of money, which is what I'm really hoping for. Our Kataskopos, Christophoros here, he is our spy master. He does not like us. The first thing we're going to do is do a sway scheme against him, because if you have a spy master that hates you, you're dead. You're probably dead very quickly. And we have enemies, so we need to be very careful. We're going to have him work on disrupting schemes. He has 2 other tasks that he can do. He can find secrets. Secrets are things that you can use to gain hooks on fellow nobles, which you can use hooks to extort or blackmail or to just expose the woes and sins of fellow nobles to reduce other nobles' opinions of them. But we don't need to do that right now. Spy Masters can also help you in your own schemes, which schemes I'll get into at some point when I have a character that can do them. I can, but not well. So all we're going to be doing is disrupting schemes, which is hopefully going to give us a little bit of shield against potential assassination threats. Then we have our Archistrategos, Kubri here. He is our marshal, and he is going to be training commanders. Training commanders is going to increase our knight effectiveness and periodically level up the skills of our knights, if I recall correctly. So that's going to be good. And then we have our court shaman, Kakao here. She's the only one that likes us because she is by default of our religion. She has to be. And what we need to do is, okay, this territory is already Kushitic, so we don't need to convert it, which is great. We are going to, do religious relations. This is going to increase the chance of various counselors, people within our religion liking us better. But that is going to be slightly difficult to pull off. We also, we don't have a player heir, so there's nothing we can do there. And we can decide on house traditions. So this is coming from a mod, I believe. So you get to pick a specific house tradition. We get to pick either valor, honor, justice, vengeance, authority, vigilance, knowledge, truth, and wisdom. And these are all going to do something slightly different that is going to depend on your level of fame. Level of fame is something that is accrued over time with each character by the prestige they earn. So prestige is, much like piety, a spendable resource, but the total amount of prestige that you earn over the course of a playthrough, regardless of whether you spend it, will contribute towards your level of fame. So the higher the fame, the more benefits we get from what we have. And I think I'm going to go with justice. It's going to give us +1 martial per level of fame, +1 stewardship per level of fame, +20 to natural dread, and -50% to natural dread decay. So we're going to be able to scare people more easily. So we're going to go with justice. That is our house. This is permanent. I'm not sure that you can change that at any point. You might be able to, but for now, it is what it is. So, there are several other effects, things that we could potentially do, but I believe most of these are going to cost money. Actually, this won't. Divine the Stars, that might be okay. And holding Mystical Communion will cost 100 piety. I might still do that. What else do we have? We can pay homage to our liege, which will cost us 50 prestige, but might make our liege like us more. That being said, we're role-playing here, so we're not going to do that, because we don't like our liege, and we know he doesn't like us. So we're just going to be antagonistic to him. He's a compassionate man. No, sorry, this is the Liege of Makuria. Sorry, that's Georgios. He's not a bad man, all things considered. He doesn't like us, because, of course, to him, we're a heathen. But I wonder if we could temporarily side with his court. Not sure. Our liege here, Dawid, is a zealot, which means he really doesn't like us. He's also a craven, but he's patient. That makes him slightly dangerous, so we're going to have to be very wary of what he's up to. Looking at fellow rulers in the realm, Alwa here is not particularly a large realm, but it is one of the larger realms in the region, which means they have quite a few soldiers. They have 1,417 soldiers, as opposed to us, which we have 370 soldiers. We need to do something about that. What we really need is to get some alliances with some of the fellow Kushitic rulers out there. And there are Kushitic rulers in Darfur who actually have quite a few men under their control, because these are tribal rulers. And tribal government structures get a lot more soldiers than feudal or clan-based government structures. So you can see this is just one province, and one province. And it's got more than half the amount of men of this entire kingdom. So if we could get some alliances with some of the states in Darfur, that would be excellent. So what we need to do is have children and marry them to the children of the tribes in Darfur. And our goal eventually is to unify these together, because they're all Kushitic. These are the people that fled. They either fled or they were Kushitic to begin with, and they just happened to live there under the Kushite sphere of influence. But we need to unite them under our banner. They may be of a different culture than us, but that is 100% okay. Speaking of culture, we are Nubian. We're going to quickly look at our cultural bonuses here. We are a spiritual culture, which basically means we get more piety, we get more control growth. Our control growth is, what does our control growth do exactly? Control is basically the public order of each domain that you have. So counties with low control basically are more likely to have rebellions and cause other problems. And they also contribute far less resources to your realm. So control is good, and we have a way to bring control very easily because we are spiritual. And our faith creation and reformation cost is reduced, so that's good. We can reform faiths quite easily. We have East African heritage, so we have a bit of cultural acceptance with other East African cultures. Martial men only, so only males can become knights, or champions in this case. We have the Sudanic language, and we have the Nubian aesthetics, which is great. Now, our culture has several traditions. We have astute diplomats, which means we cannot attack allies and we cannot attack through truce. But our alliance negotiation acceptance is drastically increased, and our white peace acceptance is also increased. And we can learn additional languages without penalties, which is kind of cool. We are xenophilic. Nubians were very culturally diverse. Like this region had many cultures moving through it constantly, thanks to the Nile. So xenophilic makes a ton of sense. And that is just 25% to cultural acceptance, which is basically that determines like the opinions of various characters of other cultures, how they like you and how your culture likes them. Land of the Bow. This is where, one of the cool things about Nubia. So you may think, powerful archers throughout history, of course the English are going to come to mind, the Japanese are probably going to come to mind, India maybe, some people might be aware that India had quite potent archers, but arguably one of the best are the archers from Nubia. This region was called the Land of the Bow because of the fearsome nature of Nubian longbowmen, who were absolutely deadly and were renowned throughout antiquity as being some of the finest mercenaries one could employ. They're lightly armored, but very fast and extremely accurate thanks to, their skill. So this allows us to recruit Nile archers, and our hunting ground buildings will actually improve our archers, which is going to be great. And rulers can blind prisoners. For counties of this culture, hill forts replace watchtowers when built on floodplain terrains. That's cool. Physically disfigured and infertile claimants cannot press their claims against the rulers of this culture. Okay. Do we count as disfigured? I don't think so. And we are agrarian. The content trait is more common. Children tend to do slightly worse with the martial education, and the diligent, patient, and athletic traits have additional bonuses, because of course we are an agrarian society. And this does reduce our prowess and our men-at-arms recruitment, and makes our men-at-arms recruitment cost more. But our counties have increased development growth in farmlands, decreased cost for building in farmlands, extra levy size, greater development growth in floodplains, decreased building costs in floodplains, and yeah, increased levy size in floodplains. So we're very good at farmlands and floodplains. And then lastly, we have religious patronage, where we gain a significant amount of extra piety from constructing temple holdings. And we gain a bunch of renown when constructing and upgrading temple holdings. And we gain extra piety from buildings. So that is our culture in a nutshell. We also want to take a quick look at our religion, because this is going to be a central part of my playthrough. We are Kushitic. Kushitic is an unreformed Kemetic faith. Kemetic just means from the lands of Kemet, which is the actual ancient Egyptian word for Egypt. Egypt wasn't called Egypt until, I don't know when. I think the Romans called it that, or maybe the Greeks already called it that. Can't remember, but the Egyptians called their own land Kemet, which basically means black soil or something, or it has to do with the black soil that's carried down through the Nile, because of course their entire civilization is built around the Nile. So our religion is unreformed. Basically, that means that we don't get a lot of the benefits from being part of this religion until we can reform our religion. And to reform our religion, we need to occupy a certain amount of the holy sites of our religion. So if we quickly look here, we have a holy site right here in Jebel Barkal. That's not very far from us. We have one in Meroe, which is also not far from us. One in Aswan, which is a bit farther away. And one in Thebes. And is that it? Just 4? No, there's one more somewhere. Shouldn't we have the other one? Oh, Giza. Yeah, of course. Giza up here, which is quite distant. So, we have 3 tenets to our religion. Esotericism, which basically mean wise men is a virtuous trait to the Kemetic people. So there's certain traits with every religion that are considered virtuous, and there's certain ones that are considered sinful. Getting virtuous traits increases the opinion bonuses of other members of your religion and gives you some extra piety. Sinful does the exact opposite. So esoteric basically makes wise man a virtuous trait and makes it more likely to get. Ma'at is our laws are the results of generations of wisdom and devoutness, and adhering to them is by its very nature pious. A sinner, no matter who, will never be above the law. So reduce law costs by 10% for each virtue a ruler has. So let's see here, laws. So this must be some of the religious laws that we can institute. So this allows the religion to kind of alter itself if you're virtuous. This makes you, yeah, so it's very much like the virtuous people devise the laws. That's kind of cool. So it makes just a virtue, makes arbitrary sin. Makes sense. We are just. And then lastly, we have astrology. Allows adherents to divine the stars and predict their future, which increases our naval speed. Which, if I'm going to reform the religion, I'm going to try and get rid of that, because that's not going to benefit us at all. And it doesn't make sense, like, we don't really need to use... I don't know why this is a Kemetic thing. Like, okay, they did have some astronomy stuff, but the bonuses here don't make any sense. Like, naval speed, I get it, why that is the bonus for this trait, because... generally speaking, seafarers in ancient times used stars for navigation. But when you're sailing up a river, you don't need to use your stars for navigation. All right, so a little bit of a backdrop there. And now, let's actually get on with the campaign. So, to do that, we will end the pause. And pray that nothing terrible happens immediately, because we're going to be very unable to do anything about it. All right, our wife. We now have a wife, a giant wife. Hopefully we do not succumb to the snoo-snoo. All right, let's see here. What are we going to do? We definitely want to build some stuff up. So right now we have the ruins of the Temple of Apedemak as our only building, which reduces building construction time and reduces building construction costs, which is actually pretty beneficial already, but we can upgrade that at some point. That's going to be incredibly good. This gives quite a lot of cool bonuses, plus, yeah, extra knight effectiveness. Thank you, sign me up. Now, looking at our knights, we have 5. We need more, so we need to actually bring more people into our court. So I want to quickly look and see how many courtiers I have. I've got a couple of guests. I could attempt to bring them in. Can I recruit them? So what I want to do is... No, it doesn't... No, I cannot recruit them to court. I do not have the money. Yeah, all you can do is pay them to bring them in, which is unfortunate. But we definitely need more men in the court. Can our shamans marry? I think so. So let's find her a husband with a high prowess score. Abdullah here. A fellow Kushite. No, we'll get Magjin here because they're of the same age. So this will be a matrilineal marriage, which is basically going to cause this man to come into our court rather than have her leave our court, which would be not ideal. And he'll become an extra knight in our service, and particularly one that doesn't hate us, which sounds excellent to me. So, we will get her married. You are also somebody who we want to have married, and I'm actually thinking, maybe, just maybe, we can marry you to somebody that we can use as a new spy master. So Muhammad here, he's Wakist, which is another pagan religion. He's got 17 intrigue, or we could get Tasafroga here, who is Kushitic. He would like us even more. His intrigue is a little bit less bad, but I tell you what, I think we're going to do this because I don't want to die. So we're going to replace our spy master, even though he has way better stats. We're going to replace it with the man we just married to that woman in our court, whose name I already forgot. Do we have any other women in the court that we can marry off? Yes, Maranya here. Let's get a good diplomat, actually. Well, there's Abdallah. He's a decent diplomat. He's certainly better than this noodle. So, matrilineal marriage, same deal. Not Kael. The hell? Come on. That's not what I clicked on. Matrilineal. Oh, I see. Doesn't allow for it. Okay, that's fine. Then, let's bring in Ankarib here. He's, I think, going to be a more capable, marshal. There we go. And we already married Maranya, so Chelsonoja, I don't know how to pronounce any of these names, I'm very sorry. Let's just get you to marry somebody with high prowess. You're 17? You can marry, not him, he's a bleeder, he's gonna die. Okay, we don't actually have very many good options, I will say. What about a good steward that's not terribly old? Who doesn't hate us? Okay, no options. Alright, well. Oh, you will take a marriage there, alright. That's fine. Abdallah, you will marry her. And you will come to my court. I believe. I am prone to making mistakes in this game because I tend to overlook a lot of stuff, so just bear with me when I do that. You know, if you want to point out every mistake I make, that's fine, but don't think that it's going to stop. All right. Lastly, we have Theosia here. Let's get her into another matrilineal marriage, and I think we're just going to go for another prowess marriage here. So let's get Pid or Musa, maybe. Let's get Musa. So hopefully this has increased the amount of knights. Yeah, indeed. We do have 9 knights right now, and they're all pretty good. So, or are they all pretty good? No. They're okay. They're all right. Our champion effectiveness is pretty high. That's going to help a lot if we get into a bit of a scuffle with anyone. And I imagine we're going to get into a scuffle with somebody at some point. We don't really have anybody to conquer at the moment. Currently, this ruler here, Eparchos Dioscoros, I can't declare war on anyone because we are feudal, which means I need claims. Hopefully, the fact that I can't declare war on anyone is also going to mean that no one's going to be able to declare war on us, and we're going to be able to move against our king more subtly. But in order to do that, we're going to need allies, so we're going to have to wait until we have some sons. New law. The liege has passed limited crown authority. Okay, that's fine, I guess. slightly concerning, but it's going to be okay. We can hire a court physician. All of our potential court physicians have poor aptitude, but they will learn. I could hire my wife. I think that's not a bad idea. She's not going to be good at it now, but this means we don't have to pay for a court physician. I mean, aside from paying the 0.1 gold, though I'm even contemplating whether that's worth it at the moment. I think not. We're going to hold off on a physician and hope we don't get sick and die. So, let's move on. Okay. Eparchos Dioscoros has become your new liege due to being granted new titles. Okay, we're now ruling directly under this man here, Dioscoros, because he has been granted my region. We still rule our region, but he is an Eparchos, which is basically a duke, whereas I'm an Exarchos, which is basically a count. And our king is a Basilios. So we serve Dioscoros here, and Dioscoros serves Basilios Dawid. So first course of action is we need to take his territory. And that's going to be a hell of a lot easier to do, though it's still not going to be easy to do, because he has way more men than I do. So we need to solve that. We need to get more men somehow. Council invitation. My vassal, I have come to the inexorable conclusion that you truly are the best candidate I have for my open council position. Though it pains me to do so, I'm unfortunately obligated to offer you the position of Archistrategos of Alwa. So, we will become his Archistrategos, his military advisor, his marshal. So, that'll be good for us. It's gonna further increase our martial skill and give us even more martial experience, to my knowledge. Pretty sure it works that way. And is going to ingratiate us, potentially, to some members of his court, providing he doesn't try and remove us. But, we'll see, we'll see. We need to make some alliances. Soon. We have some potential allies here with the Mandulists in Backlin. They're pagans as well. They worship Mandulis, or, Meruel in the old Nubian language. Mandulis is the Greek version of that. Think of it as, if you're familiar with Greek history, Egyptian history, you had the Egyptian pantheon, which changed over the 4,000 years of Egypt's rule, so don't think that there was one Egyptian pantheon, there were many. And none of them were ever, like, super clear-cut. Basically, gods came and went, and were introduced from other cultures into Egyptian, and were introduced by Egypt into other cultures on a frequent basis. But if you recall, there was one particular pharaoh who worshipped a single god and tried to create a monotheistic religion under the god Aten. This pharaoh Akhenaten was viewed as the heretic pharaoh by later Egyptian pharaohs, and they basically tried to erase him from history, though that did not work. Think of Mandulis as the Nubian version of Aten. It even has the same symbol. That is straight the symbol of Aten. Okay, so let's proceed onward. We're going at speed 4 because a lot of things can happen in the early campaign, and we need to, as soon as we can, start building buildings. And I want to build a hunting camp. Pregnancy. All right, my wife is pregnant. Fantastic. That is the first step to securing our lineage. We cannot build hunting grounds here because what is the territory that we're on? Naka. We're in desert mountains, so we are absolutely not in the terrain that we are good in. So that's kind of a problem, but that's fine. That's fine. We need to build buildings that give us more levies. So I think military camps or camelry is going to be what we want to do. I think we're going to go for camelry as soon as we can. Looking at our levies, or at our men-at-arms here, we have Nile archers, of course, and that's all we have. I would love to get some more Nile archers, or even increase the size of our Nile archer retinue, but that's going to cost us a lot of money. So, I wish they had different art for them. These do not look like Nile archers. So, letting time progress, I'm actually going to bump it up to speed 5 now, since currently we aren't getting murdered by anything. Okay, so we have a daughter here. A lot of these are Greek names, which we don't want to have Greek names. Okay, Kersiami is not a Greek name, to my knowledge. We will call her that. So this will be our heir until we have a son. So we have Kersiani, She will be our new daughter. Wonderful. What traits did she inherit? Okay, she inherited the giant trait, but not the intelligent trait. Alright, commander promoted. My Archistraticos Kubri has been showing off and promising new recruits. He may not be of noble stock, as you, my liege, but on my name, I swear that Kurilos is someone you would want on your side. Is he? What's his stat? 67? Or he doesn't like us, but indeed, I think he is good. He will serve us as a knight. Now, what I wanted to do before in our council is remove a couple of problematic council members before they kill us. So we're going to assign Abdallah here as our proto-domesticos, because he's better at the job, and he doesn't hate us. He doesn't like us particularly, but he doesn't hate us at the very least. And we're going to assign Kasifroge as our Kataskopos. Again, he doesn't hate us. We're going to sway him immediately. He needs to like us, so that he doesn't murder us. And we're going to assign Magjin as our Archistrategos. And do we have an option here? One that doesn't hate us? Not really. So, unfortunately, he's just not going to like us, and that's just something we're going to have to deal with. Okay, in our Liege's council, this is all opinion of a liege? Yeah, it is. All right. So, they all like their the Eparchos Dioscoros quite a bit. So we don't have any allies in Dioscoros' court. Of course, we're a heathen to them. All right, we're earning a little bit of money. Edza is pregnant once again. That's good. Hopefully she will bear me a son. We are being raided. No, somebody else is being raided elsewhere in our kingdom, and that is fine. We have ourselves a new martial lifestyle perk. Fantastic. So we can go down courtship. The problem is courtship... Actually, that's going to be useful, because that's going to affect... So, basically, the romance schemes is not going to be terribly useful, though I think I will actually do the romance scheme as soon as I'm done swaying my spy master not to murder me. But promising prospects is going to increase our marriage acceptance for close family, which is basically means that our children are going to have a more likely chance of getting married to children of potential allies, which is something I want to do right now. Because we can already arrange a betrothal. Say a chieftain in East Darfur. You, why doesn't this show it? Magjin, you're a son, right? Let's see about that. Okay, here we go. So, we could arrange an alliance right here. Could we arrange a matrilineal alliance? We can. Interesting. So this would give us an alliance with the chieftain of East Darfur, which would call him in case we go to war. And this is going to be excellent. This will be our first alliance. I plan on getting several more and getting to the point where I might be able to dethrone our liege. Not our king yet. That's something further down the line. But in order to perform anything like that, we are absolutely going to need more men at our disposal. All right, to the virtuous Exarchos Ezana, your masculinity is what gives meaning to my life. I would be blessed if I could feel your lips touch mine, that I may know the touch of the divine. You and I together is what makes the sun move in the sky. These lines are but a bleak reflection of my feelings for you. I will do anything to prove my loyal affections. Okay, my shaman, I think my shaman's a little bit thirsty for me. I don't think it's going to be a good idea to cheat on Edza here. I'll tell her to abandon this foolish endeavor. An impression twice made. Ahead of another feast in the honor of my liege, Eparchos Dioscoros, Komis Eonkuda pays me a visit. Alright, Komis Eonkuda, who are you? You are, the Kataskopos, the spy master of our liege. Neither of us are in the Eparchos' best graces, he points out, but if we were to provide a spectacular show at the feast, we might improve our standing with him. Okay, I can spend some prestige to potentially gain some favor with Dioscoros. I can spend some gold, which I'm absolutely not going to do. Or I can focus on small things to give me extra diplomacy. I think I'm going to do that. I am not interested in winning the favor of our Eparchos here. I am interested in deposing him. Excellent. So, we have ourselves another daughter, Patricia, which is not going to be her name at all. Intairi? That sounds like it could be Nubian. Let's just pretend it is. Maybe it's syncretized a little bit with Greek, and that's fine. Alright, so we have ourselves a second daughter. She's not a giant. She's also not intelligent. Or she doesn't have the intelligent trait. I'm sure she'll be plenty intelligent, but she just doesn't have the intelligent trait. What we're going to do is secure ourselves another alliance. So we're going to look here at Baklin. Baklin is 910 men. That's not very many. What about other regions? There's the Wakists. You have a lot of men, and you're not very far away. In Aksum here? Aksum are Christians. They're not going to want to get married to us at all. There's other territories here in Darfur. What about El Fasher here? You have a lot of men. You have 821. That might be useful. So perhaps we can arrange a marriage there, although it seems like you don't want that. No, we can do it. Though it's not going to be a matrilineal marriage, that's going to be fine, which means my daughter is going to go to his court rather than his son coming to my court. And that's okay. Because it's going to give us an alliance, it's going to give me prestige as well, it's going to also give him prestige, so everybody wins from doing this. The two children are of relatively similar age, so it's not going to be weird or anything. I mean, arranged marriages are arranged marriages, but the woe of the time. Alright, we have formed another alliance. So, at this point, I actually have quite a few men at my disposal, if we count our allies. The question is, our allies aren't necessarily going to join a war that we start, so we need to make sure that things are in place before we make our move. So, what we can do, we're looking here, we could do an independence war, but that's not going to accomplish anything. So what we need to actually do prior to declaring war against him is claim his title, which we would need 1,500 prestige to do. Very difficult. Alternately, we can have our shaman here attempt to fabricate a claim. If we do that, though, that's going to piss him off. But yeah, I'm thinking. Can we take him? Their military strength is inferior to ours. We are absolutely going to attempt to lay a claim. It's going to take a little while. As you can see, it's moving down. Okay, House Akhratani is not swayed. We definitely need to continue swaying him, though. So hopefully we're going to be able to gain a claim on his title. All we need is a claim on the county. The rest can come later. I just want to claim on Abwab. Getting a claim is probably going to cost us money, though, if I recall correctly. I'm just going to have to see. Alright, it worked this time. So we can press this claim. This will cost us 72 gold, which is going to really suck, but that is going to give us the option of declaring war on him. Which right now, we're stronger than him, but we're not much stronger than him. All we need to do is a bribe. I'm gonna hold off. Let me quickly check here. Possible side effects. Claim on duchy. Yeah, but that's gonna be even more expensive to press. Do we spend our money right now and get the claim? The claims last quite a while. I think they last for as long as you're alive. I'm gonna do it. All right, we now have a claim on his title. He doesn't like us very much. He might try and depose us, but that's fine, because we can overpower him thanks to our allies. And hopefully, if we have another child, we might even get more allies. And we have Marshal, another Marshal perk. I'm looking at the wrong place. And we're going to get Promising Prospects, which is going to lead us to Loyalty and Respect, which is going to be good. And then to Peacemaker. And then lastly, we want Gallant. Do we want Gallant? Gallant is good. But it might be actually better to head down into Strategist and get some advantage bonuses. I do want Promising Prospect, just to ensure that we can get some good marriages. Right now I haven't been doing any good marriages, but hopefully we're going to have more children. And we might be able to... nice! Alright, great. I have a son. Will he be called Ezana? He might. Let's find out. There's something better here? I may call him that. Give me just a moment. Name him Nastasen. This is a name of another ancient Kushitic king, which is what I'm going to be naming most of my children. We are trapped in the glories of the past, and are attempting to recreate them, so that's how that's going to go. Nastasen here is now our heir, and he is going to immediately need a spouse, preferably from somebody that can grant us a strong alliance. All we have here are potential chieftains, which is unfortunate. Would have liked something greater. But looking here, she's an option. Volka here. She is a Wakist. So she is going to be from the daughter of Chieftain Hakim of Sharka. Where's Sharka? Sharka's down there. That's a ways away. Meaning, how many men do you have? 446. Not really worth it. Not really worth it at all. What about in Baklin? You have a son. Okay. Okay. That's not going to work. Damot here. You have a daughter. I don't think you're going to accept a marriage, though, because you don't have any other heirs. No. I think if she has a son or another daughter, I will marry my son to one of her daughters. And that'll give us an alliance with Damot, which she'll have 1,500 men, although currently Damot's at war, so I'm hoping this is a war they're going to win, because they are a potential ally that we're going to want to make use of. Lessons from the past. Though I will surely see many battlefields before I meet my maker, my library holds tales of war from 100 lifetimes. I have recently acquired a tome on the Great Siege of Constantinople, as well as a time-worn scroll written in some ancient language. Who knows what forgotten secrets it holds. We will study the old battle by reading the newer tome, of course. Commander promoted. My Archistrategos Magjin has showed off a new recruit. Again, we have a new Balo here. You're going to serve me. He doesn't like me, but that's fine. Martial recriminations. Absolutely unacceptable. Edza bursts into my chamber, her face red with anger, yelling loud enough for the entire castle to hear her. Kubri has just insulted my honor. I demand that you cast this contemptuous ogre from your court. Well, Kubri here is not my spy master, and he doesn't like me. We can send him out. I'll gain 20 stress from this, because I'm just. So basically, if you perform actions that are against your traits, then, yeah, it's going to cause problems for you, and you're going to get stressed out. And once you reach a certain amount of stress, you have a mental break, which can cause big issues, but it can also give you some positive stress coping traits. Some of the stress coping traits are negative, but some of them can be good. But I tell you what, going with the roleplay, this man hates me. He's a good leader, but I'm a better leader. The man is a snake. Not literally, but he's very deceitful. And he's very arbitrary. This is not a good man. He doesn't belong in my court. He'll be gone by tomorrow. Congratulations, you're banished from the realm, Kubri. The challenge. I'm sparred with one of my soldiers, sweat beading on my forehead, when I experience the uncanny sensation of being watched. Looking over my shoulder, I spot my Archistrategos Magdin, who waves at me. I walk over to him. We talk about our weapon practice for a while, trading tricks and advice. Just as I'm about to leave for another round, Magdin's face lights up and suggests we practice together. Alright, challenge accepted. First off, do you hate me? Is this an assassination attempt? I don't think so. Challenge accepted. The upper hand. The sound of sword clashing against mace echoes between the courtyard walls. All eyes are upon us. Everyone wants to see their Exarchos fighting his Archistrategos. The crowd applauds as I lunge, and their admiration makes me bold. Instead of pulling back, I attempt a new technique I've been practicing. The movements flow through me and into my sword as if we were one. Magjin is defenseless before me. We could gain dread by beating him down, but we don't want to do that. We actually want to gain some respect from him. We want our court to like us. So this
let it end here. Well fought. We'll gain some prestige, which is going to be good. It's going to increase his opinion of us by 20, and we'll gain 100 martial lifestyle, and we will gain the effects of a practice duel, increasing our prowess by 1 for 5 years. So let's do that. Sounds great. Wow, another child. This is good. Things we share. When we talk about life, my wife and I often agree. I just know that Edza understands how I view the world. I'm lucky to have someone who understands me. Yeah, tell me about it. She's a good wife. I'm glad we didn't get with our shaman. The call of the hunt. The wilderness is calling out to me, and it's been too long since I last hunted. Out there in the mountains of Naqa, there are plenty of powerful boars. One of those would do well on my dinner table tonight. Something is missing, though. Are my hunting spears too old and dull, or is it a companion I lack? I should make sure to prepare well. We could get a new hunting dog. That will cost us 15 gold. It will increase our diplomacy and prowess by 1. Newly forged spears and arrows, blessed in the name of Apedemak, will also cost us 15, but it'll give us plus 3 prowess and plus 15% prestige. That sounds better than a dog, as much as I want a dog. And what I have is enough. I just need time to prepare. No, let's spend some money. That's fine. I mean, I want to save money, but this is pretty good. For 25 years, that's going to last a long time. Going to give us a lot of prowess and a lot of extra prestige. So, we will do that. My son. Edza. You have given birth to a new son. Okay, so you're going to have to be named as well. Let's see here. Very quickly, looking at my names of ancient Kushite kings. Got it. Siaspika. That will be the name of my second son. And let's keep an eye out here on Damot. You have a second child. Wonderful. So now we can actually make ready and arrange this marriage here. So let's look here. What are your stats? Her stat line isn't so promising as of yet, which means I think it's going to be better to have her marry my second son, Siaspika, which will still give us the alliance, but isn't necessarily going to tie Nastasin down to her. Although, if Nastasin gets the marriage... No. I was thinking if Nastasin gets the marriage, when I eventually die and he takes over, he'll have that alliance as well. But I think we can probably get a better alliance with him at some point down the line. So we're gonna marry... Oh, she will not accept. Even with the, Okay. What about to an heir? Also not. Ooh. What's the issue here? Marrying down. Okay. Well, that's problematic. What if there's a way that we can sway her? I mean, we can sway her. The chance of swaying her isn't very good. How is our sway scheme of our spy master going? He's at 54. That's probably good enough. I think we can abandon that. Do I try and start swaying Tatufura? I think I will. I'm hoping this is going to work, because I want this marriage. Alright, champion practice. The clanging of mail and the clashing of swords rings in my ears as my champions practice their arms. I study them intently, trying to ascertain each one's particular strengths and weaknesses. There can be little rest for them. For as soon as the bell is rung to signal the end of mock melee, the stable doors are opened. It is time to bring out the mounts. Today we are going riding. I might gain a martial perk, or bring me my armor. I haven't ridden on the Quintain in ages. Which will give me +2 prowess. No, let's try and get a martial perk here, which we already got one. So, do we want to go all the way to Gallant? Actually, it's pretty good. But spouse counselor task. You know what? Fine. I'm gonna go with loyalty and respect. I want that, and I'm gonna go fully to Gallant. Then I'm gonna go into strategist. So speaking of spouse counselor, I didn't actually look and see how she is currently benefiting me. So right now she is doing assist ruler, which is granting me +3 diplomacy, +3 martial, +4 stewardship, +2 intrigue, and +4 learning. Or I can have her just hammer down on one skill and give me a higher bonus, but only in that one skill. I think I'm just gonna have her do general assistance, because I could use a more diverse stat line. Managing domain wouldn't be bad, because then I would get even more money. So she is... No, it's not worth it. I need the other stats, too. Alright, champion practice, a hilltop view. Kyle glances at the mud fields at the bottom of the hill. Those could serve as an outline of an enemy army, he says. I inform my champions as I inspect their battle line, preparing them for the strategy at hand. I should cut off diagonally and lead the champions into the flanks. It would give us the martial perk. Or we could charge, which would give me aggressive attacker. 90% chance to get aggressive attacker. Let's do that. We're gonna be an aggressive attacker. Ah, fuck's sake! I got the 10% chance to get wounded instead. God damn it. Apedemak, I have failed you. I'm so sorry. I wanted to take the aggressive route. All right, now I need a surgeon. Ill, my mortal body. Oh, this is bad. I need a, I absolutely need a court position immediately. So, it's gonna be my wife, or I can do my court shaman. I'm gonna have it be my wife. She's not gonna betray me. All right, hopefully that's gonna be fine. We're gonna see if we can find a better court position at the moment. So we have some chances here, but they're gonna cost money. That's the problem. Yeah, no, they both fail to impress me. I don't have the money for it. So my wife's gonna take care of this, take care of me. Hopefully I don't die. Childhood role model. Kersiami is proving to be a difficult child. I worry that Kersiami may become a black sheep of House Akhratani. That's, not good. She's forgiving. I mean, that's normally not a bad thing, but... Alright, Ill, my old self. I am back to being better again. Thank you. Edza, you have done your work very well. Lost in thought. My son and heir, Nastasen, is an unusually calm child. When the others play their games, Nastasen often withdraws to some silent corner. He does not speak a lot, but I can tell he is always thinking about something. I wonder what's on his mind. He's a pensive child. All right. Well, if he's pensive, we can already start to work on his education focus, which we could have him go down into learning or into stewardship. I think I want him to go into learning. That meshes very well with pensive. So basically, your children get special traits, which kind of determine which of the educational paths they're going to go down. And I'm going to send him down into learning. And I am going to educate him myself. Now, as for Kersiami here, she is forgiving and bossy. So we're going to have somebody else educate her. Preferably somebody with good martial traits. Magjin here. We're going to have Magjin educate her, but we're not going to have him convert her culture, because he is of a different culture than us. She will be Nubian. Knight significantly improved. Kael has improved. Nice. Okay, Tato Fura has been swayed. I wonder if that's going to allow us to do what we need to do. Although, perhaps, no. She's winning the war against her enemies. Though at the moment, she has far less men. Presumably because she lost quite a few men in the war that she's currently fighting. Okay, well. We're playing a long game here. Let's see if we can't get a marriage. To Siaspika will still not accept, goddammit. So we need a little bit more opinion from her. So next time she is swayed, we are going to attempt the marriage again. Hopefully by then she'll have some men back. I've lost a trait wounded, fantastic, I've healed just fine. My spouse is up to the task. Some of my counselors believe the job is theirs by right of blood or influence alone. How wrong they are. I expect results, yet I am often disappointed. After a long day, I'm complaining to Edza when she interrupts me. Let me do something about it, husband. A few lessons might sharpen their wits. So this is an event that allows our wife to improve one of our council members. And I want to actually look and see which of our council members is going to benefit from this the longest. Abdallah here is 41 years old. Magjin is 32. And Kael is 31. I think I want to actually increase Magjin. Magjin's stats are good, and he likes me, so he's going to stick around for a while. So we're going to have... why don't you tutor Magjin, our Archistrategos? He's a good man. We're sparring partners anyways. And, you know, he could use some martial training from my wife, who's... She's got very high prowess. And we have ourselves a new martial lifestyle perk. So we're going to go with Peacemaker. That's going to help us later. So that's going to increase, basically decrease the amount of winning that we need to do in a war in order to secure a positive peace agreement. Which is good. Useless census. What happened here? The Exarchos of Daqa gained useless census. Oh god, that's going to decrease our money and garrison size. Fuck's sake. Because of him. Kael? I want you replaced. You are unworthy, but I cannot at the moment. Which is kind of problematic. We can designate a guardian for Antairi. Alright, she is also bossy. So, and she's gone into stewardship. That's fine. Let's... Ooh, I don't want Kael raising her. Don't want any of them raising her, to be honest. I'll let my wife raise her. Might not turn out super well, because they have a different... path, but it'll be fine. Also... No, she is Kushitic. Great. Thought she was of a different faith. Then we should have converted her. But, okay, Tatafura is not swayed. We need to wait a little bit longer. We need to get her on our side, and then I think I'm going to make my move against Arwab. An unworthy challenge. At first I thought the simple footman was a fool for stepping into the training field. Although Ananias seemed no threat at first, it quickly became clear that he would be unable to stop his wild and vicious strikes from hurting me. Disarming him suddenly became a matter of life and death. I tried not to show my relief when his sword finally hit the ground. We could recruit him, although I am vengeful. This peasant and my soldiers will get a lecture on honor. Or I could strike him down where he stands. He tried to kill me. But I tell you what, he's a brave and strong fighter. I'm going to gain some stress here. He's a fellow Kushite, and I think he would actually be a good knight for us. This, unfortunately, will give me some stress, but that's okay. So Ananias is now serving as a knight, and we should actually arrange him a marriage. Or actually, better yet, find him a spouse from somewhere. Preferably somebody with high stewardship skills. Guta here? It's gonna be you. You'll marry her. Excellent. Now, I don't know if I can then use her to replace this, to replace Kael here. I cannot. We're stuck with only male council members. Okay, that's fine. I assumed as much, but, okay, Proto-Domesticos fails to handle vassals. God damn it, so we lose 150 prestige. Ugh. Alright, well, that's, problematic, but so it is. Let's see here. There's other things we could potentially do. We could attempt to learn the Beja language. Or this is the Kushitic language. Do I not speak Kushitic? What do I speak? Actually, hold on. Let me check that. Where do we see that again? I never remember where that is visible. I think our language is Sudanic. Okay, yeah, we definitely want to speak Kushitic. That's, like, an important part of our culture. So, I'm going to do a learn language scheme for Kushitic. So let's do that. His name is Alibaba. That's funny. Oh, nice! Alright. Kael, you've redeemed yourself a little bit. I'm still going to replace you, but he got me 65 gold. Which is outstanding, because that might actually finally, almost, potentially, theoretically, at one point, allow us to build a camelry. Alright, we need to wait a little bit longer. Then we're going to build a camelry, which is going to give us access to more knights and more levies, which is going to be great. Knights significantly improved. We're going to have a lot of knights. And gallant it is. We now have the gallant trait, which is going to further increase our martial capabilities. We have 28 prowess. We are a living god on the battlefield. We are the avatar of Apedemak, and I cannot wait to kick the ass of our liege. All we can do is an independence war. Did I lose this claim already? No, I still have a claim on Abuab. Why can I not press it with the war? Probably because I need to take it for the whole thing. God damn it. Okay. I do need a duchy claim. Otherwise it's going to cost me 1,500 prestige, which I can't do. So a duchy claim it is. I have to try and score one. But that's going to be expensive to get. So I do need to save my money for that, unfortunately. Man. Their military strength is similar to ours too. So he's building up military strength, so... This is just generally going to be kind of difficult to pull off. Childhood role model. Nastasin has shown curiosity for his ancestry and is growing to be more like a child of House Akhratani. Alright, good. Nastasin has become just. Fantastic. Learn language, lexical love. Oh, my dear Ezana, you're really learning my beloved Kushitic. Oh, she's also, she speaks Kushitic. Great. You're making such an effort to understand me. Can I help you in any way? All right, so I could take... how do you say, meet me in my bedchamber naked? Or I'll take any help I can get. Motivated by love, which will increase our scheme success chance. We don't really need scheme success chance. All right. Time for some snoo-snoo. All right, learn language, the lure of poetry. He by the Lake by Hadab of Wadi Amur. Truly a great collection of Kushitic poetry. The villain crowned, some men simply make all others queasy. Their features awkward, their breathing wheezy. Life itself shrivels in his wake. All the world feels pain and ache. Perhaps I should try my hand at poetry as well. Out of the 81% chance to become a poet. Let's do it. That sounds cool. Damn, I'm now a poet. Awesome. So, we are doing pretty okay. We have yet to make any gains. Okay, war declared on Liege. Basilios Eusebios is being attacked by Caesar Georgios. Okay. Caesar Georgios of Alwa. Vassal in the Kingdom of Alwa. There is now a civil war. This is interesting. No casus belli, huh? Perhaps now is the time. After he loses some men. Tourney troubles. As Exarchos, I've been obliged to attend a local wrestling tournament, but the contestants have been delayed. The tourney won't start for another hour. Looking around, I notice my wife, Exarchesa Edza, sitting by herself in the stands, looking quite lonely indeed. She can join me to partake in some wrestling of our own, or I could reduce some stress. No, let's do some wrestling of our own. You seduced Exarchesa Edza with barely veiled martial contest puns. Alright, well, my wife is now my lover, always a good thing. And we have another daughter. Nejin? Sure, sounds good. That's going to be our new daughter. Let's see if we can find an alliance there. I would like to have a strong alliance. Damont, you're currently winning the war, and you do have a lot of men, and you like me more now, so let's have a look. You also have a son. You have 2 sons, even. So what about you marry my daughter? You will accept that. Perfect. Absolutely won't accept a matrilineal marriage. That's fine. Let's do that. That's going to get us our alliance with Damont, finally. Perfect. Okay. So, we now have an alliance, and we're looking good. Our sons remain unmarried, but that's fine. We can marry them later, once we have a bit more of an idea of what the political climate is. So, Basilios here. We have no way to declare war on him. All we can do is an independence war against our liege here, but that's not going to help us at all. What about conquests? We could do a conquest and head west. We would have an advantage. We cannot do a duchy conquest, but we could attempt to conquer a county for 150 prestige. To give us a bit of extra wiggle room, if we were to say conquer the county of Musmar. Problem is, Musmar is presumably not part of the Eparcate, no, of Abwab. And we want to make for Abwab first, otherwise we're going to have problems with holding our territory. Slightly. I mean, we could take it. The thing is, it's a tribal holding. It's not going to benefit us all that much. I really need a ducal casus belli against him. If that even works. It used to work. Oh, what is this? You want a position on my council? Ah, so we have a new Eparchos. So his father has died. Now it's Makarios who leads Abwab, and he, of course, wants me to be his marshal, which I will accept. We absolutely need to take this, but just going to be kind of difficult. Can you continue fabricating claims here? Why aren't you doing this? Oh, she doesn't want to. Okay. Interesting. What about on Astaboras then? Maybe we need to do it in a different way. We need to actually take counties from him. I still don't think it's going to work, but let's just try it out. Okay, so Makarios wants me to see to his son's education. Interesting. Interesting. I accept. Even if I'm planning. It's being attacked by Exarchos Dioscoros. Ah, so he usurped his father. To my liege, for too long have I suffered indignities at the hands of Eparchos Makarios. I will not stand idly by while our liege abuses his loyal vassals. Oh, this is a different Dioscoros. Interesting. I urge you to join me in a fight to depose this tyrant. Ah, so this is how we do it. We can straight up depose him right now. So he is the liege of Kiraba here, or the Exarchos of Kiraba, and he is at war with Eparchos Makarios. Let's do it. We will assist you. So I need to raise my armies immediately. Let's turn the speed down to 3. So let's quickly raise everything up. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Unfortunately, yeah, we need some allies. We need some allies. We desperately need some allies. I don't think we can bring our allies into this war. Because they're not part of this, because we're an ally in this war. Okay, this is a bit of a problem. Let's see if we can align with these guys and join up with them. That's going to be the only way we win this, is if we merge our forces. Can you, like, not? Okay, I'm hoping they're going to follow me if I move to engage, because our force is way more capable. The problem is I don't think 200 are going to be able to beat 877. Quickly, chance of victory, are you going to follow me? I don't think they're going to follow me, so I'm going to wait here. If they want to come for me, then they're going to have to come for me. I wish you could control what your allies are doing. Or at least direct them a little bit more. But you can't, so it's kind of up to them to do their thing. Alright, martial lifestyle perk. I am going to go into strategist, because of course I'm leading armies myself, so we're going to get Bellum Justum. It's going to decrease the casus belli costs, which is going to be very useful soon. And right now, if he conquers that, I don't really care. Maybe I can move towards his capital. That might draw them out. And if they come with me, that would be all the better, but I suspect they aren't going to. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to hold that. Oh, great. We need to pull back. If they come for me... Yeah, now they're coming for me. 800 men. Can we win this? I certainly hope so. Let's see what happens. 1,400 men? I don't think we can win that. It's possible. They have more soldiers, but we're defending in desert mountains. We have a better commander, and our troops are of much higher quality. Let's hope this works. I really hope this works. We're going to lose some men here, for sure. We are vastly outnumbered. But from the looks of it, we're gaining the upper hand. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Nubian archers. Get fucked. Our knights absolutely kicking ass. Our champions are wounding and maiming their champions all over the place. Can we chase them down? I don't know if that's a good idea. But kicking their ass was definitely a plus. Now, if their army would follow us, we can retreat to the mountains if they come back. And they will come back, inevitably. But, yeah, we're not going to be able to do anything with this siege here, which sucks, so... there's no real point in attempting to seize control of that unless they move the rest of their armies in, but this allied army is just sitting there doing nothing, which is great. so we're gonna have to just wait. Okay, I could create more men-at-arms. I could create more Nile archers. I need the money for that, though. So I'm not going to create more Nile archers. Not yet. I need the money for the claim. Alright, I really hope this this works out for us. Okay, we can see it done for 72 gold. We will gain a claim on the Exarchate of Astaboras. Now, how's that going to allow us? We still cannot... Yeah, we can't declare war while our armies are raised, of course. That's fine. Where did their army go? They're going to come back eventually, I'm sure. Ah, they have forces down here as well. Alright. Learn language, success. After lots of hard work, I finally learned the Kushitic language. Endless hours practicing accentuation, sleepless nights mimicking inflection, countless lessons mastering intonation. It was all worth it in the end. During my efforts, I looked to emulate Emir Ali Baba's accent. I am sure he would be impressed by my results. Perhaps I should send a letter to him. It's a high chance that that's going to form a rivalry, because he's going to mock it. So let's not do that. Alright. Now, what about... you? We already speak your language. And down here? Any more languages we can learn? We could attempt to learn Ethiopic. Or, down here. Omotic. Let's attempt the Omotic language. Always good to learn some more languages. Okay, their armies are moving back towards us. We beat them once, we can beat them again. They had more men last time. Then again, we also had more men last time. Are we replenishing? Don't think so. Let's, can we raise more men? We cannot. We have everything that we possibly can be raised. We're leading this army ourselves. We won a great victory in the mountains of, Basa here, but, the chance that we win that again? I don't know. There's no point in attempting to take their capital because our allies aren't helping us. So, it's kind of an unfortunate situation. If I could have sat this war out, I would have, but alas, I didn't get that option. Alright, so this next army is approaching. We need to be able to defeat them. By the way, if we lose this war, we could straight up be deposed, which would end our campaign, so let's hope that doesn't happen. Hopefully we can win this second battle as well. This is a very tenuous position that we've gotten ourselves in, but it looks like we're doing okay. Alright, that's another victory that we've secured. We need to aim for a white peace. We really shouldn't have gotten involved here, but our allies insisted. Okay, now they're moving down there. I don't know if I want to move down there. Like, we're going to forfeit our mountain advantage, and if we forfeit our mountain advantage, we could be defeated. And if we're defeated, then it's basically over. And there's really absolutely no reason. Okay, lesson on justice. I will hone Nastasin's skills in the tradition here. So basically we can choose to gain some stress and have a significant chance to increase our heir's martial skill by 1 or his stewardship skill by 1. And we're going to do that, even though this is going to give us a mental break. So we are feeling inadequate because we have not yet fulfilled our promise to Ahmun and Apedemak. I will be strong and resist these impulses. I do not want the profligate or the flagellation trait. Neither of those are good stress coping traits. So I'm going to hope later down the line we're going to be able to get a better stress coping trait. All right, expectations. You were always there for me, and I hope you know that I'm grateful. My ward, Makarios, shows in a rare display of appreciation. we're gonna gain a hook on him because of that. He is... might be useful later, and he's not our son, so... Alright, the enemies are returning. Call to war. Okay, please... Okay, it paused? That's good. To the implacable Ezana, I call upon you to honor our alliance and join me in the war against the tyranny of Tatofura. You are Tatofura. It's the war. Okay, so some of her vassals are rebelling against her. I'll assist, not that I can do much at the moment. This is problematic. Okay, good. They're coming back to the mountains. Good. Oh, for fuck's sake, they couldn't make it in time. Are you shitting me? Oh, my allies are idiots. That's gonna cost me this war. Can we win? We can still win, even with 200 men. Oh my god. Clutch. Alright. Toil and hard work. My son and heir Nastasan has been impressed with one of the household champions for a very long time. After finally meeting in person, he has been repeating the warrior's words to himself. Work hard and you can master anything. Very good. He will become diligent. Wonderful. Did we completely destroy their army? I think we completely destroyed their army. No, they have a... That's not the army. Yeah, that's part of the other war, which we don't need to get involved in at the moment. So they don't have any other forces here, which is good. But we can't take their territory, which is bad. What is the size of this garrison, actually? How big is it? Can't tell. All right, 625 men. Yeah, that's why we can't do anything. What about down here? They have garrison of 375. Can I win there? Let's find out. I don't think so. But what else can I do? Otherwise, we're just sitting here, and this war will go on for as long as our stupid ally. All right, we won the war against Tatofura. All right, that's cool. Can we win this war? Our war score is deteriorating over time because we haven't taken any of their holdings, which is a problem. Basically, it's just gonna gravitate towards 0. We need to take something of theirs, and we can't. Okay. So, I don't know when this war is going to end, / if it'll end. I kind of want to kill this army, so if they're gonna... Yeah, they're levying up more men. It's a bit concerning. I'm pretty sure I can beat them. So if we lose, it's probably game over, because he can just strip our titles. We'll be imprisoned, and then he can strip us of our titles. Learn language, a worn manual. Theosia approaches me, observing a fly crawling on some gilded decorations. My lord, I've heard that you are studying the Omotic language. My father was a merchant, and he could learn any language in no time at all. His secrets are in this manual. I have no use for it, as I cannot read. I'd part with it for a reasonable sum. All right. We could gain a worn language manual. Unfortunately, I don't have the money for this. We're gonna have to decline. Okay, I need to attack them. We're not gonna have the defensive bonuses, but I think we can still win because of our superior army. Oh yeah, we slaughtered them. All right, we have captured their leader. Nice. Oh my god, that is clutch. So, can we claim his title? Damn it. So now he was released. Okay. Your liege lost their war against Exarchos Dioscoros. Exarchos Dioscoros became your new liege. Alright. You should like me more, considering I won your war for you. But a child is easier to scheme against than an old man. Okay, so we actually can't really... Yeah, all we can do is claim independence, which really sucks. So these claims that I'm gaining, I can't do anything with. All I can do is claim liege title. Unless I try and use a new lifestyle. Claiming liege title costs so much. Start claimant faction. Might as well try. I don't know how much support I'm going to find in this court, but we'll see. It's just a faction, you know? got 2 prisoners here. Gomez Bartholomeos, you're not a very capable man, so I'm going to ransom you. And then we have Hirosakuni, who's also not particularly capable, but we cannot ransom him. So what we're going to do is demand his conversion, and then he can leave. I need the money, and now I have the money. Alright, we have ourselves a new lifestyle perk. A reading in Naka. It looks like it would be a tedious evening once the feast entertainment was over, but Patricia saved the day by suggesting a reading from the stories of a holy book. Wonderful. Okay. Well, that's good. And let's get organized march. It's going to increase our army's movement speed, and it's going to increase our archer screen. It's basically going to make our archers a little bit more effective, which we are using a lot of, so. Maybe the first campaign I ever do that I don't specialize in heavy cavalry. Or light cavalry. Not really the thing here. Although we can recruit Sahel horsemen, which is unusual, because the Sahel is, like, over there, but whatever. Alright. Well, we're gonna have to figure out how to scheme our liege's title. We need to get that title. We need to be able to go to war with him and remove him. All we can do is an independence war. And that might be what I have to do. I may have to do an independence war and then try and take his titles. But we're going to save that for the next episode. We'll figure out what to do. If you guys have any tips or suggestions, I'm of course always open to ears. I don't really mind backseat gaming in Crusader Kings. It's not something that really bothers me. So if you guys want to, you know, suggest maybe what I can do, no guarantee that I'm going to actually act on those suggestions, but I might. I very well might, if they're good ideas. So by all means, leave whatever comments you want. Of course, any comments you guys leave is greatly appreciated because they help out the YouTube algorithm. I'm a very small channel, so if you want to assist me in becoming a bigger channel, any likes and comments will help with that tremendously. So yeah, if you guys want to see more of this, do subscribe. Otherwise, leave this video a like, and I will catch you in the next one. Ash Herder out.